Welcome back to Daytime, everyone. Now, we're still going to discuss National Volunteer Week, which seems to be a huge hit here in the Peel region. And of course, we're home to thousands upon thousands of volunteers across the city. And that's why we want to shed some light, especially with the Mayor's youth team members, which we have here on today's show. We're pleased to be joined by David Bresch and Brittany Arjun from the Youth Volunteer Challenge. Thank you so much for being here on today's show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
No
for
problem.
having us.
So obviously both volunteers, right? I'm sure you love what you do, gains a lot of experience.
Yeah.
But let's first and foremost talk about what National Volunteer Week is all about.
So National Volunteer Week is really an initiative for teens to get in their community, find out what's going on, and really become involved, which really helps them in the end. Whether you're getting volunteer hours or not, which is great for graduation.
Of course.
It's really a good time for them to find out what's happening in their community, find out what they never really knew about.
Awesome. And by contributing to the community through volunteering, I'm sure for you, David, like that's been a true success, right?
Yeah, like I'm actually volunteering right now. Like there's election going on, right? So I'd recommend all youth, go out, find the party you like, and help them, because it's good to get to know politics, your civic duty. And I'm volunteering right now with Kyle Seaback. He's my local Conservative MP.
Right.
And I'm getting to know politics, and getting to know how it works, and it's really fun because you get to know how our country works, and I like it.
Are you trying to plug the Conservatives right now?
No, that's why I said come find the party you like and
then you go and do it. Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Even how old are you?
I'm 16.
16 years old. So you can't even vote yet.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's pretty.
I'm voting with my volunteers.
With your volunteering, but it's pretty interesting that maybe through volunteering that kind of opened up your love for politics.
Yeah,
probably.
I think all youth should do it because it's your responsibility as a citizen, right?
Right.
So you should see what you like and see if you can help out.
Right. Now, what are some of the more basic or even, the basic skills that everybody can get from volunteering, no matter where you're volunteering?
You're creating a social network, you're getting connections. The one thing is making new friends on your teams, and like the Brampton Mayor's Youth Team, we're like family after being for so many years. You get to meet new people, sometimes get the sort of job connections there that you can sort of connect with. You can do some simple things just as being able to do these sort of events and build up on your leadership skills, take on initiatives, find out what other kids are doing and say, hey, that's inspiring, let me try something like that. From simple things to even putting stuff like this on your resume.
Of course, of course. Now, do you feel the same way when it comes to contribution?
Yeah, not only is it contribution, it's also, just becoming part of your community. By volunteering, you become part of your community. You know what your community is, who are the people in your community. If you sit around at home playing Xbox all day, you're not really part of your community.
You're volunteering to the Xbox world then, right?
Guilty.
Right? But I mean, it's still okay to do that. But I mean, even if you designate whether it's an hour, 2 hours a week, even,
all about
right?
balance.
I mean, just balance it out into life.
Anything, like it's always good to help out. It's always good, it's our responsibility to help our community, right? We're part of it.
There is an Ontario Youth Challenge coming up. Who wants to tell us about that?
I guess
It's an initiative done by the province of Ontario, and in the Peel region, it's like advertised. It's promoted by Volunteer NBC, Volunteer Milton, Brampton, Caledon.
Okay.
And it's to help promote youth to go out and volunteer. I think is it 10 hours or?
3 hours within the week, just per person. So, small goal, but once you have enough people going, it becomes a crazy amount of people, and you can get a lot through that sort of event, and you can get a numerous amount of communities going on for that.
So it's the team who gets the most people, sorry?
So it's more like the whole overall group of Volunteer NBC getting people to sign up on their website and putting in with like simple volunteering events going on with your school, or maybe stuff you're finding out in your community. Or if a team decides to take an initiative on a project, then they also sign up for that, and they take in the amount of hours and they tally all of it up. So that's why it's sort of ideal that you would sign up through volunteernbc.org to do that.
Right. And has it been difficult to get people on board? Is it a difficult task to get people to volunteer?
Again, if you look at high school, there's a lot of kids who, simply, they'll wake up one day in grade 12, 2 months before graduation. Like, you don't have your 40 hours,
You can't graduate.
So, again, there's always the youth who don't want to, but we find that there's a lot of people who do want to help out the community get the certificate for the volunteer challenge, so it's a really good experience,
Yeah. And would you say, like, especially coming out of high school, when you're going on to your post-secondary school studies, sometimes you go into college or university not really knowing what you want to do with your life, right? So possibly by volunteering prior to that, you could probably, get a glimpse of what you want to do in life, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Whether it's coming out to maybe finding out about Brampton Clean City, or maybe it's finding through film aspects, or it's just realizing wherever sort of events you volunteer with, maybe you're an environmental, maybe you're a politic person, maybe it's just community service awareness, and just those alone have numerous amount of jobs within it.
Right. Now, why do you think some people don't want to volunteer? What is it about the whole volunteer word that kind of scares people?
That is like, you have to take the initiative to get up out of bed on your Saturday or get out in the middle of the week. And it's just like, well, I could be at home sleeping, but you don't realize that, it's not like a job. No, you're not getting paid, but it's great. It really gives you a balance in your life. It's giving you something else to do. Because, I've been volunteering since like grade 4, so it's just something I stick with. And it's a passion, and you get a lot of interest out of it.
Since grade 4, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I don't even think I knew what volunteering was in grade 4. That's awesome. And what about you, David? Like, why do you think people sometimes kind of steer away from the idea?
I think
maybe could it be possibly because they're not getting paid and they feel like they're getting absolutely no skills?
I
Meanwhile, they look back a year later and they're like, oh yeah, I learned that when I was volunteering, right?
I think it's probably laziness in part with like you don't know where to volunteer, right? That's why there's an organization like Volunteer NBC, right? So if you don't know, if you're a teenager, you don't know where to volunteer, just Volunteer NBC. They'll tell you everything you need to know, where people need help, like what organizations need help. Just go to them, because it's often you don't know where to volunteer, right? Like you can, but you don't know where, right? So there's you should find outreach like that.
And out of all these years of volunteering, especially with the Mayor's Youth team, what has been your favorite part of this whole ride?
Oh wow, you have to pick Wednesday.
Yeah,
a hard question.
The ultimate favorite.
I would say it's just at the end of the day when you're volunteering and you have the events going on. It's just because we're all good friends. It's just, it makes it that much more experience. It makes it that much more overall enjoyment for yourself. And you realize and you're having a lot more fun, and you forget that you're volunteering. You're just out there having a good time, getting community awareness. And it's really great. Being in Brampton is lovely.
It is lovely, yeah. It's a great city. I grew up there myself, so I definitely know how it is. I know. What about you? What's your ultimate favorite time?
That's a hard question. Like I've had a lot of good times at MIT. Like last year's Amazing Race. Like I think every event.
Right, I heard about that. I heard that was a lot of fun as well, right?
A lot of fun. We had kids. It was a lot of fun. I got friends who came, and they had said they had a lot of fun. So I think in the end, the best part about being in MIT is the good feelings you get. Like that you're helping your community, you're having fun.
Right.
It's just
It's
the entire experience.
Right? Do you guys have like a chant for the MYT?
Not yet.
Do you guys ever get together and put your hands together and like, go mayor, go youth? No, none of that?
We'll work on that.
That's a good idea, though.
You could start one, right? And let them know that Chris from Daytime suggested
We'll give
it.
you-
And,
we'll
you know,
give you a-
maybe
Yeah,
my
I'll
name
remember
could slip
that.
in there or
Yeah,
something.
Very
we'll give you some
subtle.
royalties.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much to the both of you for being on the show. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, you're making a difference in our community and doing what you can, and that's why we're here to encourage anybody out there who wants to see what they can be capable of doing. You definitely want to try and volunteer, and it is National Volunteer Week. If you know a volunteer, congratulate them on a job well done. Stay tuned.